These national flags were the result of flag contests. Australia.
The Australian Federation flag was the result of an attempt in the 1830s to create a national flag for Australia, which was divided at the time into several British colonies. The national colonial flag was a forerunner for the many Australian flag designs which featured the Southern Cross and Union flag in combination.
After federation on 1 January 1901, the new Commonwealth government held a competition for a new federal flag. This competition attracted 32,823 entries. The majority of designs incorporated the Union flag and the Southern Cross, but native animals were also popular, including one that depicted a variety of indigenous animals playing cricket. The judges took 6 days to deliberate before reaching their conclusion.
This was the Melbourne Herald competition winning design.
5 almost identical entries were chosen as the winning design, and the designers shared the prize money. They were a 14-year-old schoolboy, a teenager apprentice to an optician, an architect, an artist, and a ship's officer from New Zealand. The flag's initial reception was mixed. A magazine labelled it, "Minds Move Slowly, and Australia is still Britain's little boy." What more natural than that he should accept his father's cut-down garments?
Papua New Guinea. The proposed flag of German New Guinea in 1914 showed a bird of paradise. This bird plays an important role in the social activities, and its plumes are often used as ceremonial decoration. The territory of New Guinea became an Australian-administered United Nations Trust territory. This was the flag used by Territory of Papua and New Guinea at sports events from 1965 to 1970. Prior to independence, the Australian administration proposed a vertical tricolour flag with blue, yellow and green bands, along with the bird of paradise and Southern Cross. It had a mainly negative reception, due to its appearance as that of a mechanically contrived outcome. The Southern Cross represents the country's geographical position in the world and its link to Australia, which also incorporates the Southern Cross on its flag. On the first tour of the country, a committee was asked to gather flag designs from the people. However, they found little enthusiasm for a new flag and only a few designs were submitted. The Australian government then suggested to have a flag designed and take it on the next tour to get the people's comment. Actually, the question changed from "Do you want a flag?" to "Do you want this flag?" This did cause far more interest. A schoolgirl had drawn a diagonal line across the test flag and reduced the colors to 2, red and black, and the diagonal were more traditional, she thought. Anyway, the committee agreed and the flag was eventually accepted as national emblem.
Kiribati.
This was the flag of the British South Sea colony Gilbert and Ellice Islands from 1937 to 1976. The yellow frigate bird symbolizes command over the sea, freedom, and dance patterns. The blue and white wavy bands represent the Pacific Ocean, which surrounds Kiribati, and the sun refers to Kiribati's position astride the equator. Shortly before independence was granted in 1979, a competition was held to choose a new national flag, and a design based on the colonial coat of arms was submitted to the College of Arms.
Antigua and Barbuda.
This was the flag of Antigua and Barbuda as a British colony from 1956 to 1962. This was the flag from 1962 to 1967. The flag badge of Antigua was the shield which had appeared in the arms of the Leeward Islands. It represented blue water in the foreground and a light blue sky with white clouds at the top. Between were a beach, bushes, and hills surmounted by a gray building. The most prominent feature was an agave plant.
A competition to design the flag was held in which more than 600 local people entered. The winning design was put forth by a well-known artist and sculptor.
The rising sun symbolizes the dawning of a new era, the blue represents the Caribbean Sea, and the V shape is the symbol of victory.
Barbados.
This was the flag of the British colony of Barbados, from 1885 to 1958 and from 1962 to 1966. This was the flag of the West Indies Federation from 1958 to 1962. The West Indies Federation was a short-lived political union that existed from 1958 to 1962. Various islands in the Caribbean that were part of the British Empire came together to form the Federation. The Federation collapsed due to internal political conflicts over how it would be governed. The flag of independent Barbados was created by an art teacher, and was chosen as the winner of an open competition arranged by the government and judged by 7 individuals. Over 1,000 entries were received. The trident is meant to represent the trident of Poseidon, visible in Barbados's colonial coat of arms, and the fact that it is broken is meant to represent the independence of Barbados from the British Empire.
St. Kitts and Nevis.
When St. Kitts and Nevis got colonized by the UK, it got this flag. In 1967, St. Kitts and Nevis changed their flag to this. In 1967, when St. Christopher Nevis Anguilla got independence, it used this flag without the palm for around a year. A national competition was held in the early 1980s to choose a new flag. The winning design by a student was one of 258 entries. The green alludes to the country's fertile land, while the red evokes the fight against slavery and colonialism. The yellow stripes represent the sunshine the islands enjoy all year round, and the black epitomizes the people's African origins. The 2 stars on the black band symbolize the 2 islands as well as hope and liberty.
Canada.
After World War I, there were numerous proposals for a distinctive Canadian flag. Most of them were based on the Union Jack, and many incorporated the maple leaf, which had come to be accepted as a symbol of Canada after its appearance in the coat of arms of Ontario, but none ultimately found favor. The inclusion of Francophone Quebec in the Confederation was the primary complicating factor, but even among English-speaking Canadians there were divisions of opinion between those who cherished the British connection and those who wished to emphasize a purely Canadian national identity. The Canadian Red Ensign was the national flag of Canada from 1957 to 1965. One interesting design proposed in 1930 drew inspiration from the Australian flag, which depicts the Southern Cross constellation. The Canadian proposal displayed the Big Dipper, plus a Confederation star. In 1946, a parliamentary joint committee formed for the purpose of selecting a new flag for Canada recommended a red ensign with a golden yellow, white-bordered maple leaf in place of the Canadian arms. But Francophone Canadians were opposed to any new flag that retained the Union Jack. In 1963, Canada embarked on a seemingly harmless attempt to create its own flag, but the issue revealed a nation hotly divided on what symbol should unite the country. As many as 5,900 alternative designs were sent in. Francophone Canadians were generally in favor of a national flag whose symbolism was neutral, a former premier of Quebec, suggested in 1947 that a flag diagonally divided from upper hoist to lower fly, red over white, charged with green maple leaf. His proposal pointed the way forward, incorporating the elements of the future Canadian flag, the colors red and white, and the maple leaf. This flag was promoted by the Native Sons of Canada. The Pearson pennant was the flag design suggested by Prime Minister Lester Pearson. The flag debate came to a head in 1964 when the new Liberal Prime Minister, Lester Pearson, placed the issue before Parliament. Pearson, who had campaigned on the promise of a new flag for Canada, favored a design with the 3 red maple leaves from the Canadian arms on a field of white between 2 vertical blue stripes. This flag had the advantages of being distinctively Canadian, of incorporating the colors of the Union Jack, of including blue for Francophone Canada. But the Pearson pennant had the disadvantage of being too closely associated with Pearson and the Liberals. "You have done more to divide the country than any other prime minister," the opposition leader charged. The committee considered 2 variants, one with a red maple leaf on a white field between 2 vertical red stripes and one with the Union Jack and the banner of France added. The debate continued for 6 weeks as the Conservatives launched a filibuster. The debate had become so ugly that the Toronto Star called it the Great Flag Farce. After some 250 speeches, the final vote adopting the flag took place at 2:15 on the morning of December 15, 1964. However, Canada's new flag was well received by the public. Canadians born after the Second World War took to the country's new symbol. As finally adopted, the new flag was slightly modified to depict an 11-point maple leaf. Greenland. The flag of Denmark was used before the Greenlandic flag became official. In 1978, Denmark granted home rule to Greenland, making it an equal member of the Danish Realm. The Home Rule government held an official call for flag proposals, receiving 555 entries. This was the first proposal. This was an anonymous proposal in 1991. White stands for the ice of Greenland, green for the name Greenland. The Nordic Cross proposal, which was narrowly defeated by the current flag. The deciding committee came to no consensus, so more proposals were solicited. Finally, the present red and white design narrowly won over a green and white Nordic cross by a vote of 14 to 11. The flag's designer makes some remarks about the symbolism. The large white part in the flag symbolizes the ice cap and our fjords are represented by the red part in the circle. The white part of the circle symbolizes the icebergs and the pack ice, and the large red part in the flag represents the ocean.
Kosovo.
Before the Declaration of Independence, Kosovo had come under the administration of the United Nations and used the UN flag for official purposes. The flag design emerged from an international competition organized by the United Nations-backed Kosovo Unity Team, which attracted almost 1,000 entries. Under the terms of UN talks, all symbols would have to avoid the use of the Albanian double-headed eagle or the use of solely red and black scheme. Red and black are the colors used on the Albanian flag. The flag of Albania is often used by Kosovo Albanians. The flag symbols would also have to avoid the use of the Serbian double-headed eagle or the use of red, blue and white, the main colors used on the Serbian flag. The flag of Serbia is often used by Kosovo Serbs. The Kosovo Symbols Commission eventually selected 3 designs. This was the competition proposal number 2. This was the competition proposal number 3. The spiral is a traditional symbol of the ancient kingdom of Dardania, which became part of the Roman Empire. It represents the rotating sun. This was the competition proposal number 1. A white map of Kosovo is surrounded by 5 stars. The stars represent the different ethnic groups. The largest star would represent ethnic Albanians. The winning design shows 6 white stars in an arc above a golden map of Kosovo. The stars symbolize Kosovo's 6 major ethnic groups. The flag is unusual among national flags in using a map as a design element. The flag of Cyprus is the only other to do so.
Cyprus.
Upon independence, Cyprus adopted a new flag. The flag should have a neutral design and color. It should not include blue, the colors of the flag of Greece, nor portray a cross. The flag should also not include red, the color of the flag of Turkey, nor portray a crescent. The flag of Northern Cyprus is based on the flag of Turkey, with the colors reversed and 2 additional horizontal red stripes at the top and bottom. A Turkish Cypriot artist designed the modern flag of Cyprus in 1960. His design was unique, as the Republic of Cyprus is the first country in the world to display a map on its flag. He sought payment from the government of the Republic of Cyprus for his flag design. He was reportedly promised £20 a year for designing the national flag, but he was never paid for his work. Under the terms of a United Nations proposal to settle the Cyprus dispute, a new national flag would have been adopted. A competition was announced and the UN collected over 1,000 proposals. The plan was accepted by Turkish Cypriots, but rejected by Greek Cypriots.
China.
In 1949, a notice to submit designs for the new Chinese national flag was published in newspapers. The list of requirements for the national flag were also posted in the notice. The list of requirements for the national flag were 1. Chinese characteristics, 2. Power characteristics, People's Democratic Government, 3. The shape should be rectangular, 4. The color should mainly be bright red. This is the Yellow River flag design originally preferred by Mao Zedong. 2 stripes symbolizing the Yellow River and the Yangtze River. 3 stripes, symbolizing the Yellow River, the Yangtze River and the Pearl River. Other proposals. A party member in Shanghai wanted to create a flag design to express his patriotic enthusiasm. He sat down in his attic over the course of several nights to come up with designs. His inspiration came from observing how stars shine in the night sky. He viewed the Communist Party as the great savior of the Chinese people, symbolized by the flag's largest star. The idea for 4 small stars came from a speech by Mao Zedong, which defined the Chinese people as consisting of 4 social classes: scholars, peasants, workers, merchants. The color yellow implies that the Chinese belong to the yellow race. First he had tried to put all of the stars in the center, but thought this too dull. The designs were viewed at the Beijing Hotel and culled down to a list of 38. Mao persuaded everyone to adopt this design, with some slight modifications. The hammer and sickle from the original design was removed since it was similar to the flag of the Soviet Union.
Malaysia.
In 1949, the Federal Legislative Council called for a contest to design a new national flag. The competition attracted 373 entries, 3 of which were put forward to the public in a poll held by a newspaper. This was the first proposed flag. This flag had a ring of 11 white stars on a blue background, with 2 red Malay daggers in the middle. The second flag was the same as the first but with 2 concentric rings of 5 and 6 stars. The Malayan flag was designed by a 29-year-old architect in Johor. He entered the design competition with 2 designs. The second, which became one of the 3 finalists, was said to be inspired by the flag of Johor. His flag had 11 blue and white stripes, and a red field in the top left corner with a white crescent and 5-pointed star on it. The Federal Legislative Council decided to make changes to the winning design. At the suggestion of a certain politician, the red and blue colors were swapped, the crescent and star were changed from white to yellow, and 6 more points were added to the star. Crescent and star represents Islam, as yellow symbolizes sovereignty of the Malay rulers and their roles as leader of the faith in the constituent states. The 11-pointed star itself symbolizes the unity and cooperation of the member states. Namibia. This is the flag of SWAPO used at the United Nations between 1976 and 1990. The Southwest Africa People's Organization is a former independence movement. Founded in 1960, it has been the governing party in Namibia since the country achieved independence in 1990. The National Symbols Subcommittee received 870 entries for the national flag. 6 designs were shortlisted, this was reduced to 3, these 3 designs were combined to form the Namibia national flag. Nigeria. The flag of Nigeria is an adaptation of the winning entry from a 23-year-old student who was studying in London when he saw an advertisement in a newspaper that submissions were being accepted for the design of a new national flag of Nigeria. He submitted a tri-band design containing a radiating red sun in the white center. He won the contest, however the judges removed the red sun in order to avoid inadvertently offending particular ethnic or religious groups. Israel. The flag of the Palestine Jews, pre-1939. Zionist flags were a problem for the British authorities. If they were allowed, the Palestinian Arabs protested, and if they were not allowed, the Jews protested. In 1948, the Provisional State Council asked the Israeli public to submit proposals for a flag and they received 164 entries. Initially, the Provisional State Council had wished to abandon the traditional design of the Zionist flag and create something completely different in order to prevent Jews around the world being charged with dual loyalty when displaying the Zionist flag, which could create the impression they are flying the flag of a foreign country. In 1948, after Zionist representatives from around the world allayed the concerns of their Israeli colleagues, the flag of the Zionist organization was adopted as the official flag of the State of Israel. The so-called ink flag was raised during the 1948 Arab-Israeli War to mark the capture of Eilat. A makeshift flag created from a white sheet inscribed with ink was made, when it was discovered that the brigade did not have an Israeli flag on hand. The soldiers found a sheet, drew 2 ink stripes, and sewed on a Star of David torn off a first aid kit. Goodbye and thank you for watching.